Aloysius Kagogube, a resident of Munkabira village in Kajan's Town Council in Wakiso district, is a retired teacher. But even in active service, Kagogube educated his children from the proceeds of selling Khat, commonly known as Mayirungi or Miraa.
Out of the 9 million households it is supporting, the household income has increased a lot. People have benefited, people have paid school fees for their children. Of late, we didn't have anybody, a graduate within around our place here. But now, every house, 1 to 2, we have graduates.
Kagogube is not alone. There are thousands of farmers and traders dealing in Khat. In 2015, Parliament passed the Narcotic Drugs and Psychotropic Substances Control Act into law. Through their lawyers' Center for Legal Aid, Khat farmers sued government challenging its legality.
The fact that during the passing of this law, there was no adequate consultation with the affected members of society, most especially those that were in the business of growing this plant. Whereas all these arguments had been presented before the Constitutional Court, the overriding consideration in the nullification of the law was the fact that at the time of passing the law, the members of parliament sitting and voting, the required number had not been established. People that we spend so much money on to simply sit, deliberate and pass these laws were on that day not in the house.
But our crop is not dangerous. We want our crop to be excluded in those things they think are bad, or drug which they call narcotic. Ours is not. So even if the law comes back and they pass it, the quorum is enough, we are going still to challenge it.
Stanley Okecho, a lawyer representing Khat farmers, says the nullification of the act has created a lacuna and the police is no longer able to arrest and prosecute consumers of marijuana and other psychotropic substances.
So the law in the sense had created a cartel or monopoly over the cultivation of only marijuana, whereas several other companies had applied to start cultivating marijuana for medicinal purposes. Only few had been approved to get licenses. Why and when this was happening, we don't know the motive behind those that were trying to process these licenses, but as it stands, this has been opened up. There is an existing legal gap in the enforcement of the law.
However, the gap may not affect the military.
Not aware of any other law, save for maybe the UPDF Act, which specifically bans the use and possession of bangi, marijuana and cannabis, or without any other drug that would otherwise be determined by the Defense Council. So let them now come and explain under what law are they going to be charging Ugandans that will be in possession of most of these drugs, narcotics and psychotropic substances.
According to its consumers, Khat leaf is used for treatment of diabetes, growing muscle strength, or lowering the need for food and sleep, and to increase aggression. Okecho says there is no evidence that it is harmful to human life.
Khat or Miraa, whereas it has those components that would ordinarily make someone high, for one to be high, you would need to consume about 15 or 10 sacks. So I don't know who is in position to chew about 10 to 15 sacks of such a plant.
It is medicinal. We use it for our chicken, poultry, even piggery. You shed it, mix it with water, and you give the animals.
If Khat is excluded from the law, the farmers are hoping to start adding value to the plant. Jingo Francis, and